for Christmas.
Oh, it's almost Christmas. Hey guys, welcome to another one of our live session. It's our last live session before Christmas and our second to last live session before the end of the year. Today we're going to do a ton of things. We are going to give away a skydive. As you can see on Laura's chest, it says skydive right here. So stick with us the next 5 to 10 minutes. We're going to be giving you away a skydive on the South Island, which is going to be awesome. We're going to be answering all your questions about traveling in New Zealand because we kind of are the experts of traveling in New Zealand. And we're going to be talking about, obviously, the New Zealand borders as well, because that has been a big topic of this week on the channel as we released our new prediction. So first up, let's introduce ourselves. Why are we the experts of traveling in New Zealand?
Well, this is Robin and I'm Laura, and we're the team behind NZPocketGuide.com, which is New Zealand's largest travel guide because it literally has thousands of articles to help you plan your trip to New Zealand, of course, when you are able to plan your trip to New Zealand. But in the meantime, we also do live Q&A sessions every single Sunday at 8 a.m. New Zealand time. So you guys can come straight into the live chat and ask your questions about traveling in New Zealand, which, you know, some people prefer to do rather than reading through a whole website. And just so you know, for time scheduled in your time zone, there is a handy link in the description below going through our next scheduled live sessions in your chosen time zone. But also, if you subscribe to the channel, you'll get notifications if you click on the little notification bell, and it will tell you when our next live session is. And if you miss one of our live sessions, we also pull together questions that we receive in the comment section of any of our YouTube videos, and we also go through those questions if we have time. But maybe today we won't have time since we have so much going on this week.
Yes. Definitely. So Extreme Charlotta is here already this morning. It says Morena. If you guys don't know, Morena means good morning in Maori, which is the local indigenous language. And he also say Merry Kirihimete. And Merry Kirihimete means Merry Christmas in Maori as well. I probably pronounced it terribly, but I did my best. And I know he knows that I try to pronounce those things with a lot of love. Okay, so as per usual, we're going to answer all the questions that we receive on the live chat. And if you are not watching from New Zealand and you do have a way to say Merry Christmas in your own language, go ahead. We'll try to read it and butcher this language for you. So the first question comes from AJ Shahal, which says, is it true that New Zealand has closed the borders for students until May 2021 and the government will never change the decision before that time period? Okay, so if there is one thing that we learned this year in 2020 is that there is nothing which is final. You know, we all had planned for 2020 and they all had to change. So is it true that the government will never change the decision before that time period? We can't really tell. It is highly likely. They actually have decided that they will review their border closure decisions in mid-2021, which is actually June 2021. So it's highly likely, and I only say highly likely, that I'm not making any definitive statements, that they won't change their mind until that time, and then they're going to start working on different policies. If you watch the video that we released this week with our border opening predictions, we actually did predict that most of the borders of New Zealand will remain closed until late 2021, which is November or December 2021 to 2022. So that's what we are predicting. Obviously, there may be some exception. You know, they may let some students come in and everything, but that's still going to be extremely limited numbers. Michael Connell says, good morning. He says it's a glorious day, but sweltering day on the Hawke's Bay. Oh my God. Michael, can you send me a message on Facebook if that's cool with you? I am doing a few interviews of like people of New Zealand and everything, and I'd love to see if you'd be interested to tell us a little bit about your traveling around New Zealand if you want. You can find us on Facebook at NZPocketGuide.com. And Clay, I also remember this morning that I was supposed to reply to you and organize something. So Clay, I will reply to your message today. What happened to...
Should I go get it?
Yeah, well, yeah, can you go get it? Okay, we're sorry about that. We forgot Weet-Bix. Michael is actually reminding us that we forgot Weet-Bix for this live session, so he's going to find it. What else do we have? Kiwi Lauren, she says, a chilly day again here in Saskatchewan. Minus 25. Are you kidding me, Canada? Minus 25. That is not okay. Oh, he's here. Just go away. We're talking about 5. And he says, Sorry, Kiwi Lauren says -25 on my run this morning, but the coldest on this week was
Ooh.
-32.
You went for a run in that?
I had ice on my eyelashes.
Oh my
wow,
gosh.
wow. Straker Hoffman says, hi guys, I did hear the same thing that AJ. Any thought or news on it? And Yao Rana from Tahiti. That's hello in Tahitian. Oh, I like
cool.
it. Yao Rana. Oh, thank you very much for that. So Straker, yes, we did release a video this week about the New Zealand border openings, and our prediction have been pushed back. I know that the previous video that we did, we had some prediction, for border openings about mid next year. But here's what happened. First up, we had 4 pieces of news. I actually got the notes right here. We covered 4 pieces of news. We covered the New Zealand government reaction to the vaccine, and basically the reaction to the vaccine was we're going to take a lot of time to kind of wait and see how it works in other countries, and then we're going to see we're going to implement that in New Zealand. We are in no rush because we're pretty safe here. In short, I'm paraphrasing, and if you want to watch the video where we actually read the whole quote from Mr. Ashley Bloomfield, which is the not the Surgeon General, but the Director of Health in New Zealand, we cover his entire quote and our take on it. So first up, the vaccine doesn't seem that it's going to speed things up tremendously. It will, but not tremendously. Second, we also had the Cook Islands announcement, which the New Zealand borders will open with the Cook Island for quarantine-free travel between New Zealand and the Cook Island. However, we've been talking about that since August, and this is not going to happen until late March, as the New Zealand Prime Minister was saying. So, from August to late March, it takes a lot of time to get things sorted. So for this reason, it kind of started taking quite a while. So we were like, okay, if it takes that long for a country like the Cook Island, which is entirely COVID-19 free, let's make that clear. They didn't have a single case there, and it takes that long to reopen. We feel like countries that have had cases, countries that have ongoing cases, it will take longer. For students, we had the Minister of Education, Chris Hipkins, that made an announcement as well, and he basically said last week that they're not expecting a number of students to start coming back into New Zealand within 12 to 18 months. 12 to 18 months, that literally brings us to late 2021, which is November or December 2021, to mid-2022. So for this reason, we pushed that back as well. And finally, they also announced a border policy review, and they say we will be, and that there is the New Zealand government, they say we will be reviewing our border policies only in mid-2021. And so if they say mid-2021 for a review only, that means there is not going to be much action taken before the end of the year, because it takes them that much time to kind of get the ball rolling on the decision that they made. So for all those reasons, which obviously I'm going well in depth during the video that we released this week, and I invite you to watch it, Striker, then you may kind of realize that I think that 2021 is kind of a write-off, and that's basically what we were going on with, talking about during our prediction. Obviously, and I will state that right now, we want to be wrong, right? We cannot wait to get tourists coming back to New Zealand, and we hope that tourists are going to be back to New Zealand, but it looks like it's not too likely for all 4 reasons that we just talked about this month. Obviously, stick with the channel. We cover all those news, but that gives you a little bit of an insight. Obviously, I'm happy to go through any follow-up questions if you have any, but that's just to give you a bit of an understanding and a quick rundown on that video that we did. We did a lot of work, like this. It takes a lot of work to have that many notes and work for you guys. So it took us quite a lot of work. So you may want to go and watch this video just to first to say thank you, second to click on like, and third just because it has all the information that we actually could gather. And obviously all of that is speculation. And we make sure during the video to actually classify this is official information, this is our speculation every time. Okay. Clay says, good morning, everyone. How are you doing, Clay? So Clay, if you guys don't know, he's in Dunedin, which is in the South Island of New Zealand. Kiwi Loren says, after your New Zealand's biggest gap year, did you find that you still have an activity that you want to do but didn't get a chance to? I personally really want to go to the other islands of New Zealand that we haven't visited, which are the Chatham Islands. Yes. So we haven't got there. So that's one of the things that we like to do.
Yeah.
Anything that you missed?
Well, actually, in terms of activities, I felt that after New Zealand's biggest gap year, we did so much that I didn't actually feel like there was anything unticked off my bucket list. Of course, there's a million different types of activities. Like you can do like whitewater rafting, but maybe there's whitewater rafting in another place that we hadn't done. But I just felt so grateful to have managed to do all those activities that we managed to do. So afterwards, I think I was feeling pretty satisfied after a year of doing 365 activities in 365 days.
All right, guys, in 4 minutes, we're going to be giving away an awesome skydive and telling you more about it. So keep on going with your questions. We'll keep on talking about everything about traveling in New Zealand, obviously on the channel and during this live session. But in 4 minutes, we're giving a skydive. So stick around and make sure to hit like if you find our answer useful. Martina Stan says, hey, guys, greetings. Where is your Christmas decoration? Well, weirdly enough, this is not the part of our living space that we kind of decorate, but there is a hidden Christmas hat right here. Don't worry, I will wear it at some point.
The Christmas portion of this live session will be coming up soon.
So there is a Christmas hat, but yeah, there is not. You can't really hang things to curtains, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah. Do you have your entire house decorated, Martina? Like, how is it? Like, you know, completely decorated with the outside with like light decoration and everything, or is it not just that just yet? Yeah. We went to another town not that long ago, and by driving at night, there was quite a few people that decorated their whole house with light shows and everything. That was quite fun.
Yeah, and it's quite interesting in New Zealand, obviously, with Christmas decorations compared to the northern hemisphere, where right now it would be winter, but right now in New Zealand it's summer. So the sort of inspiration for Christmas decorations in New Zealand has obviously been taken from the northern hemisphere, with like pine trees and snow and Santa with his big coat on and stuff, and it kind of looks a little out of place when you have like beaming sunshine and really hot days. It looks like Santa is pretty warm in New Zealand at this time of year, so it's quite interesting to see.
Look how fluffy that hat is. Do you want to wear it?
Nobody wants to wear it at this time of year.
All right. Extreme Talota says, I got 2 photos of the leg track yesterday. Hey, mate, we should connect as well. I should do a bit of an interview as well of, you know, what you like about New Zealand and all that. So just message me again on Facebook, and we get that ball rolling. Davide, I hope I pronounced your name properly, says, hello, do you have any information about the travel restrictions for people who have been vaccinated to COVID? All right. So when we were talking about the border restrictions, you know, one of the questions that we asked ourselves was, will people vaccinated be able to come to New Zealand and not, you know, like completely free? And will that happen like super fast? Like as soon as you get a vaccine, can you come to New Zealand? And from the information that we found, and I'm actually going to read the quote again. And in the video that we have, it's in the channel right now. You can go on our channel and then click on videos, and then you find like the red and yellow video that says, you know, border opening predictions number 5, and you can go, and we go way more in depth on that. So I really advise you to watch that. But I'm going to read the quote that we had. So this is the quote from the Director General of Health, Mr. Ashley Bloomfield, and he says, we've got the advantage of not having to use the vaccine right now because we have no big outbreak. So we can watch and see what happens with the deployment of this Pfizer vaccine in real time, okay, and look at the safety monitoring data. What we need to know is the effect of the vaccine in the medium and long term, and how long those effects will last. So as you can tell, they are in no rush into kind of like testing things and being a testing ground for things that's happening. They're probably going to wait and see how that works, because there is also not enough data in knowing if a person that has had the vaccine can still carry the disease and spread it around. You know, that is something that could happen, you know, on hands, clothing, and all that. So that there has not been enough data on that. So I don't think that the New Zealand government is going to rush into saying anyone with a vaccine can come into New Zealand. So for this reason, this has not affected our prediction at all. That's obviously just our interpretation. When I read the actual quote, that's exactly what the exact information that we have. We just had our interpretation of it, which is kind of like, I don't think that much on rush. They're not going to take a risk. They probably will wait, you know, like the good year to kind of wait. That's the, you know, there is enough data. They also give them the chance to actually create herd immunity in New Zealand, meaning that to vaccinate enough people that in New Zealand, you know, the risk of a major outbreak will be extremely low. And then at that point, they're going to start taking those decisions to reopen the borders. So as of right now, with the amount of information that we have for you, Davide, our gut feeling is the fact that you just got a vaccine right now does not mean that you will be able to come to New Zealand, neither in the short or medium term, meaning that I think that the border closure will still remain in place until, the end of 2021. But again, I want to be wrong, and I'll be so happy to say, when the border reopen in whatever month it is, to tell you guys, it's opening, come around, come and visit New Zealand. We're open for business.
We'll have to have like a live session party when the borders